Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, back on the camper here. As you can see, I got the other quarter off the 51 Oldsmobile, and this quarter is actually in a little better shape. Got some denting in it, but there's a little bit of rust. And then I found the other, it's not a matched collar wise, but it's a match for fitting the car. The other fender skirt, which is what we used on the other side to fill in. You can see that one's bent up and broke off. The other one over there was blue, I think. But anyway, so I've decided that as bad as I want to start on this side, I'm not going to do this side yet because it's going to make it hard to get in and out of when I do the floor and stuff. So we're going to do the floor next, try to get everything done in there. Well, I say next, we're going to do that rocker down through there next. That rust's got to be cut out. And then we'll do a little bit more welding here and there. And once that rocker is in, and where it needs to be, then we'll start figuring out where we want the floor. The floor is probably going to be level with the bottom of this rocker. I put a rocker in here. I did not put one in that side. And it didn't really need the same kind of rocker. The rocker over here is in here, and it rounds under down there, and it's heavy. And I've got it in there because I wanted to have something for the door, and where the bottom of the door is going to be. So that's probably where the floor is going to be, and we're probably going to cut some more out here. What we need to do is sort of carve a way for having more room. The more room we have, the more flat level floor we have. So it's a little over 6 foot from front to back where we need it at. We're about 5 foot wide, and that's not at the widest part, but I mean it's 5 foot wide, pretty easy. So it's going to work out good. So I think that's what we're going to do next. We're going to work on that side, get that rocker on, and then that way we can establish what we're going to do for the floor all the way across. And you can see this rocker's a little low compared to that ledge there, so we may do a step up. I really don't want to cut that out if I can keep from it. I mean, if it's in good shape. I haven't checked it real good yet, but so got some stuff to clean up, some stuff to move, and we can probably, because I got this rocker welded in, go ahead and take this brace out. I braced these things, one on each side, just you know, when I put this thing together originally. So all right, well, let's see what we've got. We'll probably clean out in here first and look and see what we got here, and then we'll get started on that lower rocker and see if we can get something rounded in and get something welded up. Okay, little change in plan, not much of a change in plan. So to do the rocker, I need to do the quarter or cab corner first. So I need to go ahead and get this new cab corner cut in and put in. So I think that's what we'll do next, and go ahead and start getting it fabricated, tucked in, welded in, and then we'll go from there all the way back. I think that's going to work out good. Now, it'll just leave me a little bit of rust repair to do. Cut out and weld back in. Be no problem. All right. And remember, you're not allowed to complain about these aftermarket parts that don't fit, because everybody knows they're not going to fit from the start. So at least we can get it marked out. Now, I know there's the other one, the original had a gap there, of course, and we've got to do a little finagling to get that down. I'll show you what we've done on this side. Actually cut some cuts in it and bend it in. It'll be fine. Good enough for who it's for, right? Alright, so we're going to keep cutting on this and try to get everything where it needs to be, and we can get some welding done. Alright folks, we're getting there. Trying to get it all lined up, and then we can make our rocker. But anyway, sometimes you gotta leave for wrecks, and been getting a lot of wrecks here lately because of the rain, and had to rebuild one of the cylinders on my rollback yesterday, so that pretty much took part of my day, or most of my day, by the time I went to town and got parts. So a couple things. One thing, I'm not going to post any more pictures of this, I don't believe, on Facebook. I put them on my Facebook page, and I had people telling me how I ruined a why'd I ruin a car to build a camper. And I mean, that's pretty obvious. It was never I never got it as a car. So another thing I was thinking about doing, but the only problem is it won't look it won't, I don't think it'll look good, but it'd be nice is to have a sunroof in the top. Now, I put a sunroof in my Camaro when I was 17 years old, one of the aftermarkets you bought at Advance Auto. But, so they're not bad to put in, but I've got to put it in before I do a headliner. So, if I'm going to put it in. I thought about maybe cutting the roof out of one of these later cars and putting it in there, but I don't like the style of them. I'd rather just have a glass one pop up that you can take the glass out of if you want to. So, anyway, that's something to think about. Probably won't, but I think it would be neat to have one. Just don't know how it would look. Which I don't reckon it matters, does it? I mean, it looks pretty rough to start with. But anyway, like I said, we'll get all this body figured out and get it as close as we can without any Bondo. So basically, you can see the rounded spot, maybe 6 inches up. So we'll come right below that body line on that quarter, and we'll replace all the way down to here, and we'll, you know, round it there. Now, I'm sure the contour is going to be different on one end from the other. They're going to be pretty close, but good enough that we can get it in there and it'll look good. It'll look right. And that's pretty much going to finish up this side. I mean, there's a little bit more to do. The other thing I got to figure out is I've got two different axles. I've got a drop axle and I got a straight axle. And I got to figure out, do I want to keep this thing real low to the ground, or do I want to set it up a little bit? And I don't know. You know, it depends. I don't know how it's going to look either way. I do have some extra chrome and stainless and stuff, and somebody had mentioned about somewhere online there's some stuff about bending some stainless. So what I thought I could do was extend off the front of this and come around to the front of the cab. So I don't know. I've never tried to bend any stainless like this, so we might do a little bit of research and see what we can do. I don't know. It might work out. All right, folks, so it's a little bit of change in plans. Here's my rocker, which is a splash apron off of a 20s Model T. I've got two of these. So I like the contour. It's closer to what I need than that pickup bed. A lot less cutting. Well, I'll still have to trim it out, but this will work good for what I need. And it's long enough. And it'll adjust. In other words, it's not so stiff that I won't be able to get it to make the curve I need to make. So that'll be tomorrow. Went ahead and cut it off. What a little bit of cutting I needed to do, but I went ahead and got it and cut it off from the running board. And I'll straighten everything out on this body next, and then we'll start getting that on and trying to get it finished up. Now at the bottom of it, I'll probably weld a piece of, I've got a bunch of 1/2-inch solid square rod that I picked up, and so it'll probably have that welded to the bottom edge of it, and that'll strengthen it up really good. And actually, here's a piece of it. I've got some 20-foot sticks of this stuff, and that'll be good for strengthening that up. So that will take care of that. So hopefully tomorrow, if nothing comes up and I don't have to run everywhere, we can go ahead and get this rocker completely finished. All right, folks, finally got a rocker on here. Got it all on. That's the Model A or Model T splash apron. Now we do have a little bit of rust right here we got to take care of. Cut out a little section. Got some more work to do on the cab corner. Some more welding. I think I'm going to go get me a flux core welder, one of the 110 ones or something, just to give it a try. I've always wanted to. Every once in a while I got the wind blowing anyway, and I'm using a big welder with 35 wire, and everybody's always said that lighter wire works a lot better on sheet metal, you know, the 23 or whatever it is. I don't know, never tried it. And flux core I know works better outside in the wind, and it's fall, so the wind is constantly coming in on me, so I may grab one and try it just to see how it does, and like I said, it'd just be a little 110 one, and we've about got this side taken care of except for the welding, and you know, welding's not a big deal, it's just time consuming, and this will get stitched completely in, and I mean, there's no gaps that are too big that we can't handle. We just got this little bit of a rust area there, and I'll show you the inside. Okay, so I ran a 1/2 inch solid bar down it and bent it up to it, and I've tacked it, and I've got to weld it yet. And you can see our rust right there, and then our little gap that we've got to fill, and we've got a few other spots, but nothing real major. We'll get it all closed in and weld it up and then go from there. I don't like leaving any opening at all on the back side. So to better explain that, if you have any way for moisture to get to the back side of Bondo, it'll bubble up. So I want everything to be completely welded in and sealed before Bondo ever goes on it. So try to get it just as good and straight as we can get it, and then we'll get it sealed up, and then you know, before any kind of finish work is done. So this car here, evidently had, now this quarter is off of the 51 holes, but the 51 holes evidently had some work done to it. All these holes that were finished closed in are lead. I also found some lead on a couple other parts on this as I was welding it, because lead don't weld good. But evidently there was a different kind of trim package on that thing, and they done away with it and leaded it in and painted the car. So I would love to just do all my body work with lead and not use any Bondo at all, but I'm not skilled enough for that. But anyway, we're going to keep at what we're doing and try to get everything finished up, and I think things will come along good, because as soon as I get a little more welding done on that, I'm going to start on the floor and go ahead and get the inside done the way I want it. Alright folks, so I made me a trip to Harbor Freight and got me a 125. It's the inverter style, so it only weighs 15 pounds. It's just a little tiny welder, and got a roll of flux wire, which I think $24 for 2 pounds is pretty high, but we'll see how much we can get done with it. So that's where we're at, and I'm going to call this a video, even though I didn't get a lot done. You know, cab corner's on, and the cab front corner, and got the lower rocker on. So next is going to be working on the floor, and we'll see what we can get done on it. But and I'll let you know what I think of that welder. Anyway, we'll keep at this thing, and I appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye.